So guys, welcome to lesson 2 of our module 2, where I'll be defining the working directory and the staging area. So as I've said in lesson 1 is that when you initialize Git in your working directory, it created a private local depository in your working directory. All right, so here I have this diagram to illustrate this. So the working area is simply the files in your folder or the changes that you're making in your folder. So when you make changes in your folder, in order to commit them to the Git repository, in order to save them to the Git repository, it goes through a variety of changes. All right, so you have a local repository and then you have your working directory all in one folder. So once you've made the changes, whether it is in HTML, CSS, whatever, you will add this file to what we call the staging area. So the staging area is simply a confirmation area whereby you check the changes, you confirm whether they are right, whether you want to delete some file, add some file. So once you have confirmed that all these changes has been made correctly, then you will push them or commit them to Git repository. This is still on the local repository, all right? So after you have confirmed that the changes are well, you will commit them or save them now to the Git local repository. So let me just open again Paint here so that we can be able to understand. So as I've said, we have our working directory here, and then we initialize Git inside our working directory. So Git repository will be inside our working directory. And so once I've made the changes here, HTML, I've added some code here, I'll push this code to what we call the staging area. This is something that is managed by the Git repository. So this is still inside the working directory. This staging area is still inside this working directory, but inside Git. And so once I've confirmed these changes have been added, these changes will now be saved inside Git repository. All right. So in one folder, your working folder, you have kind of 3 different stages: your working directory, and once you have made the changes, they'll go to the staging directory, and once the changes are okay, they will now be committed to the local Git repository. Remember, this is still your folder here, but is now like kind of divided into 3: the changes that you make, the staging changes, and then the Git repository. I hope I've tried my best to explain that. I hope you've understood, but we'll see this in practical sense and you'll be able to understand this in clarity.